Hi everyone, it's Ian here from Crack Maths, back for tutorial 62, this time on how to calculate the mean from a set of data. Okay, so in this tutorial we've got three main things that we're going to have to learn. So firstly, we're going to cover how to find the mean from a set of data. Secondly, we're going to look at how to use the mean and the number of values in the set of data to calculate the total. And thirdly, we're going to look at how to use the mean, the number of values, and the total of most of the values to calculate a missing value from the original data. But first of all, let's quickly discuss the mean. So the mean is the third in line of the different types of average that we've had. So we've looked at the mode so far, we've looked at the median so far, and lastly we've got the mean. So the mean is largely what you think of when you think of the average. In order to calculate the mean, what we do is we add all of our values together and divide them by the number of values. The best way for me to explain this is for us to do an example. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this question here. So in this question says, calculate the mean of 3, 8, 2, 10, 15 and 20. So in order to do this, this is the one where we add everything together, divide it by the number of things there are. So we're going to do 3, add 8, add 2, add 10, add 15, add 20. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. That equals 58. And now that we know that's 58, we can divide this by 6 because there's 6 numbers there. And that equals 9.6 recurring. Okay, so 9.666. I'm going to call it 9.7 to one decimal place. But that would be the mean of this data. Okay, that is the straightforward model of the mean. Make sure that you get some practice on this. There's lots of practice available. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to use the mean in order to find the original total. So for this question here, we've got 5 numbers have a mean of 8. What do they add up to altogether? If we remember that the way we calculate the mean is everything added together divided by the number of things equals the mean. We can replace all of these with this. So we know the total, which is all the numbers added together, divided by 5, because that's the number of numbers, equals 8. So here we go. We know that something divided by 5 equals 8. Right, so this is actually like our reverse calculation. So remember, if we ever get two numbers that multiply together to make a product, that product divided by one of the other numbers equals the other number. So remember, when we think about 3 times 4 equals 12, 12 divided by 3 equals 4, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So this time what we really want to then think about is we want to think about our reverse calculation in reverse. So if we know that 12 divided by 4 equals 3, what we know is that the 3 times the 4 equals the 12. So if we look at this and we've got everything added together divided by 5 equals 8, we know that the 8 times the 5 must equal the everything added together. So in order to find this, we can simply do 8 times 5. So there we go, and that will equal 40. So when we look at 5 numbers which have a mean of 8, we know that altogether they added up to 40. Okay, let's have a look at another question like this. This time I've said 7 numbers have a mean of 10. What do they add up to altogether? Okay, great. So remember, the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So for this one, we can stick in what we know. So we know that the mean is 10, and we know that the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So 10 equals something divided by 7. So remember, using our reverse calculation, that something has to equal 7 times 10. So 7 times 10 is 70. Therefore, the total of everything added together would have been 70. Right, this now takes me on to the third type of question. So this third type of question is when we need to find the value of a missing item. So this question says, the mean of 5 numbers is 20. A sixth number is added, and the mean becomes 21. What is the value of the sixth number? Ah! Okay, right. So all of a sudden, this question looks a lot harder, but it's not that hard if we can do those first two bits. So what we need to know is we remember that the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So therefore, we know that for the first five numbers, the mean is 20. So that means that 20 equals everything added together divided by 5. Now, using the reverse calculation, that tells us that everything added together equals 20 times 5. 20 times 5 equals 100. So therefore, we know the total of the first five numbers equals 100. Okay, so think about that. The second part of the question tells us that six numbers have a mean of 21. So remember, the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So the mean is going to be 21, and that's going to equal everything added together divided by 6. So 21 equals everything added together divided by 6. So remember our reverse calculation, which tells us then that everything added together has to equal 6 times 21. So 6 times 21 is 126. So that is the total of the six numbers. Aha! So we've got the total of the five numbers and we've got the total of the six numbers. If we know that the total of the five numbers is 100 and we know that the total of the six numbers is 126, we can simply take away the total of the five numbers from the total of the six numbers, and that will give us 26. So the sixth number had to be 26. Okay, great. Let's try one more of these and then we'll look at some scenario questions. So here we go. This question says the mean of 8 numbers is 2.3. A ninth number is added and the mean becomes 2.5. What is the value of the ninth number? Okay, so remember, the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So we know that 2.3 equals everything added together divided by 8. Now, we know because of our reverse calculation that everything added together has to equal 2.3 times 8. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. So now I know that everything added together equals 18.4. So I'm going to write that down here because this is the total of the first 8 numbers. Now I need to do this again. So we get the mean for the second set is 2.5. So 2.5 equals everything added together divided by 9. So remember, with the reverse calculation, that means that everything added together equals 2.5 multiplied by 9. Right, and 2.5 multiplied by 9 equals 22.5. So we now know that the total for the 9 numbers is 22.5. So if we know that the total for the first 8 numbers is 18.4, and the total for the 9 numbers is 22.5, we can simply do 22.5 take away 18.4. And that equals 4.1. Okay, great. If you want to get some practice of those now, remember there's loads of practice questions at crackmaths.co.uk. If not, stay with us and we're going to look at 2 scenario questions and then we'll be done. Question 1 is a nice and easy scenario question and it says Sarah recorded the number of hours she spent studying for 5 exams. 4, 6, 5, 7 and 8. What is the mean number of hours she studied? Okay, so this is a nice and easy one. So remember, the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 4, add 6, add 5, add 7, add 8, and that equals 30. And then we know that there's 5 exams there, so 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So the mean number of hours she spent studying was 6. Okay, and now let's have a look at scenario question 2, and this is going to be of the second type. And so this says, the mean test scores of 4 students is 80. If the 5th student joins the group and the mean of all 5 students becomes 85, what was the test score of the 5th student? Okay, right, so this is exactly the same as the ones that we've been doing before. Remember, we've got 4 students, they've got a mean of 80. So remember, the mean equals everything added together divided by the number of things. So 80 equals everything added together, so total tests score, divided by 4. Then we can do our reverse calculation. So 80 times 4 equals 320. So that tells us that those first 4 students had a total test score of 320. Now we've got a 5th student arrive. Okay, so there's now 5 students with a mean of 85. So 85 equals total test scores divided by 5. Therefore, 85 times 5 is going to equal the total test scores. So the total test scores for the 5 students equals 425. So we've got the total test scores for 5 students is 425. The total test score for 4 students is 320. Therefore, we can work out that 425 take away 320 means that the 5th student got a score of 105 on the test. Very good. I'm assuming it wasn't a percentage. Right, that is that for that topic. I hope that is all very well and good. Remember, there's lots of practice over at Crack Maths. This has been tutorial 62. Well done, and I will catch you in the next tutorial.